This Saturday, we're going to see something we haven't seen in over 70 years, the coronation of a brand new monarch for the United Kingdom, King Charles III. And, well, we're very big in the United Kingdom. I don't know if you've noticed that or not. And it's mostly because of our next guest, Niall Gardner. He is the director of the Margaret Thatcher Center at Heritage Foundation, and they love you on YouTube and streaming news. Niall, you're a big draw for us, so thanks for joining us again.
It's a great pleasure. Many thanks, Larry.
So I'm going to hold off my really important question, which is, does this mean we get a new recipe for coronation chicken salad? Let's set that aside for a minute. This is actually quite a big deal. How long does this ceremony take exactly? And is King Charles sort of dialing it down a little bit compared to the pageantry of the mid 20th century?
Yeah, so the actual ceremony itself, which takes place at 11 a.m. on Saturday morning in London in Westminster Abbey, lasts about an hour or so. But there's also a very grand procession following the coronation as well. And there's going to be a big concert at Windsor Castle on Sunday evening. So there's a whole series of events, festivities, celebrations during the course of this weekend. Also, Monday is a bank holiday for the British people. In other words, a public holiday for everyone in the
Wow.
UK. And the coronation, it is a very big deal. It's the first coronation we've seen in 70 years. And the British people will be, of course, I think, a huge part of all of the events over the course of the weekend. And this will be watched globally by an audience, no doubt, of potentially billions of people. So I do think the coronation is very historic, and it is going to be an absolutely massive global media event too.
So help me out with something. I'm seeing that the official title of this ceremony Saturday, Niall, is the coronation of King Charles III and his wife Camilla as king and queen. She does get the queen title. She'll be Queen Camilla.
Yes, actually, she does get the title of Queen, and there
Wow.
was a lot of debate about this, of course, over the course of the last few months. But she will indeed be Queen Camilla, and that was the decision taken by the king.
Wow.
And so, historic events this weekend on every level, but we will have a king and a queen.
For the first time since before Queen Elizabeth II, right? Because Prince Philip was just that. Prince Philip, in fact, if I remember
Yeah,
right, when she was first coronated, he didn't even have the title of prince yet. They had to fight for that a couple of
yeah,
years later.
yeah. That's correct. So Prince Philip did not carry the title of king,
Wow.
and so
So Camilla gets to
this
be
is
called
a
queen. Is that because it's a lot easier to say queen versus, husband stealing other woman kind of tart? Is that, or am I just being too American here, Niall? She was the other woman for crying out loud.
I think Camilla is someone who has increasingly endeared herself, I think, to the hearts of the British people. She wasn't particularly popular, it has to be said,
Yeah.
decades ago, but I do think that the British people have embraced her largely, and I think that as the Queen to King Charles III, I mean, I think she will be, warmly greeted by the British people. But it's right to say that she was a figure who was very controversial for many decades, and it's only in recent years, I think, that her popularity has significantly increased among the British public.
I appreciate you delicately navigating the boulders that I just threw into the stream there for you. Now, listen, unlike Camilla, who has actually gotten a warm reception recently of the people of England, Meghan Markle has not. In fact, maybe that's part of the reason why they're taking Camilla's side, because the two of them were quite a bit at odds. She will not be there at the ceremony. And what is this I'm hearing
Yeah.
about her husband, Prince Harry, the son of the monarch who's about to get coronated? He's just going to fly in for 24 hours and fly straight out?
That's correct. So, reports in the British press indicate that Prince Harry will only stay for a very short period in the United Kingdom. He is expected to leave London actually about 2 hours after the coronation of his father, and so this is a very fleeting visit by Harry. And of course, Harry
Wow.
and Meghan spent months and months debating whether to show up at all for the coronation. Ultimately, of course, Harry has decided to go. Meghan is staying in Montecito in California. And so it'll just be Harry. And I suspect that there's a clear reason why Meghan is not attending herself. And I think that overwhelmingly, the biggest reason is that she is massively unpopular in the United Kingdom. I think she would have been booed on the streets of London. That would have been
Oof,
disastrous, I think, for her image and brand. And
yes.
so Meghan's decided to stay at home.
Meanwhile, now you and your team over there at Heritage Foundation, you've put in a legal FOIA request, a Freedom of Information request with the US government, specifically to find out the details behind Prince Harry's immigration status. Well, I mean, he did marry an American citizen. So, what exactly is in question here?
So we're basically asking for the Department of Homeland Security to release the immigration records of Prince Harry. And we are requesting this because Prince Harry has revealed in his memoirs a great deal of extensive drug taking. And we would like to see his immigration application in the public domain so the American public can judge for themselves whether or not Harry was completely honest and accurate in terms of his application for a US visa. Also, we want to establish whether or not there's any kind of favoritism or preference given towards Harry. Everyone should be treated equally in the eyes of the law. No one should be given preferential treatment. And in light of Harry's own extensive admission of very serious drug taking,
Hmm.
we want to ensure that he was absolutely honest and truthful with regard to his immigration application. After all, it is a perjury offence to lie on an immigration application. And we would like to have the US public see what exactly was in his immigration application. I think there's a clear public
Uh,
interest here. Harry is such a major figure both in the United States and on the international stage here. So this is
yeah.
about transparency and accountability and the rule of law being applied, Larry.
I love that. Fascinating stuff. And there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to have full transparency on that. So keep us updated on the status
Absolutely.
of that Freedom of Information
Definitely
Act
will
request.
do.
All right. So seriously, I've never had a good coronation chicken salad. It represents the worst of British cuisine in the mid 20th century. It's why people make jokes about British food. Are they going to come up with a new recipe, or do we still have to deal with that yucky sort of yellow mayonnaise stuff and whatever the heck it
I
is?
think coronation chicken will always be with us, Larry. But the official, I think, royal dish of the coronation is actually a quiche, which is a French dish, ironically. But King Charles has opted for quiche as his sort of official coronation dish. So it won't be coronation chicken, I'm happy to say.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Coronation quiche? Is he is he
Yes, it
is he
yeah, it does
trying
does
is he
sound
like trying to set up jokes? Does he
spectacular.
want us to make fun of him? It's like he's playing along at this point.
Well, apparently King Charles does like quiche a lot, and but it is a quintessentially French dish. So that's a rather unusual choice.
Well,
But actually, having said that, the French, of course, are massively interested in the coronation. The French will be watching very closely, and no doubt regretting getting rid of their own royalty over in France. So
yeah,
a bit of
well,
envy on the part of the French, I think.
nothing to lose your head over there, I guess. Now, enjoy this Saturday. I know that we all will. It's going to be quite a pageant. There's more to come on O'Connor tonight.